However, the practice in developing countries is that there's a lot of illiteracy. So in many cases, people do not understand the risks or even the fact that they are participating in a clinical trial. There's a hierarchical relationship between the doctor and the patient, which means that the patient will do whatever the doctor says. And also there's sometimes a conflict of interest for the doctor, because medical doctors in developing countries have a financial interest in participating in a clinical trial, as often they are paid by the patient that participates in the trial. So there's not always a guarantee that they will inform the patient of particular risks. One of the other problems is that before a trial can start, it has to pass by an ethical review committee. A recent study in India of ethical review committees over there revealed that the majority of ethical review committees was inadequately equipped to carry out its tasks. So they were not well equipped to protect the rights of trial participants. Therefore, we think as an organization, as we use many drugs that are being tested in developing countries, we think as consumers and European citizens that we have a responsibility to trial subjects on whom these drugs have been tested. The European directive says that unethically tested drugs should not be allowed marketing authorization. Actually, the practice is Demos has interviewed regulatory bodies who grant drugs marketing authorization, such as EMEA and other national regulatory bodies, and they do not check on ethics. They look at efficacy and safety, but they do not check whether a drug has been tested ethically. And we think that this is a very important, this should be a very important check that should be made, because if unethically tested drugs were no longer to be allowed to the European market, this, we believe, would have a deterring effect on trial sponsors carrying out these clinical trials in developing countries, and we think that this would prioritize ethics for trial sponsors. So we think that it's very important that these bodies should perform stricter checks. We also think that there should be more inspections in the countries where clinical trials take place. So inspections from the European Union. For example, the Dutch inspection only carried out a few inspections on trial sites in low-income countries during the past few years, and we think that it's not a proper check like this. We also think that it's necessary to enhance transparency through compulsory registration, and it's necessary for pharmaceutical companies, of course, to behave more socially. How we work, we try to influence politicians in the Netherlands, but we also speak with members of the European Parliament. In the beginning of this year, one Demos publication that you can find at the entrance, A Bitter Pill, describing the problems of unethically tested drugs, was published and was presented to members of the European Parliament. 13 members of the European Parliament have supported our cause and have asked the European Commission to take steps. At this moment, we are trying to get more support in order for the European Commission to make ethics more of a priority, and we are also trying to mobilize support for national governments to do the same. as we think that this is a problem that should be tackled at both issues. Furthermore, at this moment, we are writing a manifesto together with partners in Europe and in Latin America and Asia, as we hope in this charter we will highlight the rights of people in developing countries and why we think that they are more vulnerable than trial subjects in the West, and why they should be properly protected, and what the European registration authorities and the European Commission should do in order for them to reach this goal. We hope that through this charter we hope to be able to mobilize people in order for this policy change to take effect. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your excellent conference. Només recordar-los que alguna part d'aquestes publicacions estan traduïdes al castellà i es poden obtenir des de fa molt poc temps a la web de UEMOS. This is just saying that part of this this publication are in Spanish also, translated from 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, they're available on our website.
Okay, yes. Poden aconseguir-les, jo crec que és molt interessant.